Keep talking.
There you go.
All right. Welcome to Premier Sports Officials Association basketball practice number 1. As we stated during the preseason meeting, sort of our theme this year is we want to prepare before the season, develop during the season, and then at the end of the season, level that we possibly can be, just like a basketball team is going to get prepared right now. Registrations are going, tryouts are going, practices are going to start if they haven't already started. So they're learning their X's and O's, and we're learning our X's and O's. So to sign up for registration, it's this QR code. If you go to the YouTube channel with our recording videos, in the description has the Google form as well. So that's the first thing to do is register with PSOA. Second thing is equipment and uniform. So majority black shoes. So if you don't have majority black shoes, you definitely want to get majority black shoes. Just by liking and subscribing the YouTube channel, PSOA, if you haven't got a PSOA whistle this year, and when we have our break or at the end, just show that you're subscribed. You could leave with a whistle if you're in person. If you're working youth, people ask, when can we wear shorts? Youth tournaments is where you can wear shorts. Anything middle school, anything sub-varsity, anything varsity, anything college. PAL and CYO also ask for black basketball officiating pants. All right, so youth tournaments, you could do all black shorts, you could do Nike shorts, you could do Adidas shorts. I just offer these if you want them. I always suggest officials have a black undershirt. So this is a dry fit, very soft. I think it's tri-blend, so 3 different textures all mixed into one. And but you don't want to have a white undershirt. You don't want to have no undershirt because if you sweat, it's going to make your shirt dirty. But definitely have a black undershirt. 1-inch striped shirt with no collar. I know some people are still wearing collars out there. No collar on that. There are 2 options on purchase officials. You could get the cheaper one, which is mesh, and then there's another one that is flex fit. It does not matter which one you get. Either one will work. And then there is specific basketball officiating pants. If you go to Kohl's or Walmart and get black pants, it has belt loops. You don't want to wear a belt. There is no belts that should be worn when you wear basketball officiating pants. So again, if you go to purchaseofficials.com, there is basketball officiating pants. They come unhemmed unless you order them to hem it. Returning basketball officials, if you haven't done so, make sure the pants from last year fit. If they don't fit, you got 2 options. Lose weight so they do fit, gain weight so they do fit, or get out there and work out whichever way to make sure they fit, or buy new pants.
That's more than 2 options.
Yeah, that's 4 options. All right. Now, once you join the team, once you get uniform equipment, attend practices such as this throughout the year on the YouTube channel. We're going to have daily shorts. We're going to have daily quiz questions and weekly training tapes. And then make your schedule. Teams have schedules. Actually, we are still getting high school schedules in. Somebody asked, when are you going to start assigning high school games? I'm probably not going to start assigning sub-varsity high school games till November. The varsity games are a work in progress as people are registering with PSOA and getting at least 1 veteran state tournament official on every single varsity contest right now is what I'm really working on. And then as the season goes, please officiate the schedule you have. All right, so when my son or daughter join a team, we get the schedule, boom. We make our family calendar that they make every single game. All right, if life comes up and there is a game that you cannot make, I said this last meeting, part of it is we will do everything possible to find a replacement for you. But if you know somebody within our group, within our team that can work your game, work your shift, let us know. Most of the time, we'll just make the switch. But if you just say, hey, Sean, I can't work tomorrow, just know it's a lot of work put on somebody's plate to reassign a basketball game. All right, so just like any other job,
We love assigning, but we're not big fans of reassigning. So if we could avoid it, let's avoid it. All right, today we're going to go over NSAA rules test, questions number 1 through 15. All right, so I am going to log into my my officials login page. Again, varsity officials, you have to register. If you're not able to see the test, that means you are not registered yet. You haven't paid either the $10 new official fee or you have not paid the returning $50 fee. All right, so once you go to online test, take the basketball part 1 test. Now, don't assume I got all these questions correct. I did do the first 20 today, but I did it without actually opening up a rule book. So veteran officials, I do challenge, try to take these tests without the rule book. All right, because when you're out there on the basketball court, guess what we don't have? We don't have the rule book. All right, now after you take the questions, if something pops up, hey, did I get that right or wrong? Now let's pull out the handy-dandy rule book and see if we got it right. Zach, do we have another microphone or no? Which we don't have to, because I could just pass. No, we should pass another one around if we have another one. Okay, so I'll do question number 1. Kevin, we'll go to question number 2 for you, and just go around the room for 15 of them. All right, so number 1, an alternating possession throw-in results when a held ball occurs? Yes. A live ball lodges between the backboard and ring? Yes. Simultaneous free throw violations occur? Yes. And then 2 opponents simultaneously cause the ball to go out of bounds? Yes. Okay, so as we go through these rules questions, I try to go deeper into it. A held ball is when 2 opponents are controlling the basketball. So thumbs up is the signal, and held ball is the voice. All right, don't say jump ball, because there's only 2 times we jump the ball up in high school basketball. All right, to begin the game and overtime. All right, so held ball. And when there's a held ball, we go to the possession arrow. Will that possession arrow ever change? Like right in the moment when you go held ball? No, don't look at it right away. All right, because if you look at it right away when players are around each other, we're still ripping for the basketball, we're going to miss an elbow. We're going to miss something. All right, so boom, held ball. Keep your eyes on those players until they're separated and you have the basketball. The other thing officials will do, they'll have an extra whistle in their pocket. All right, so that is my alternating possession arrow, because how many people have seen the table scorekeeper have the alternating possession arrow incorrect? Quite a bit, right? So I have that alternating possession arrow in my pocket. Whichever way, when I'm facing the table, that's the way of the arrow. All right, so another tip there. And then the last tip on this question, 2 opponents simultaneously cause the ball to go out of bounds. I don't think I've ever called this. All right, I just, boop, white, sell it. All right, you don't want to rely on the alternating possession arrow if you don't know who it goes out of bounds on. As we go through the training tapes, I hope we find some film of how the players could tell us who it went out of bounds on, how we could get help from our partners. Help, and your partner could help you on which team last touched the ball. That usually happens in transition. It's not coming from my area. All right, so number 1 is E, all the above. All right, Kevin Kennedy, if you want to use that microphone, read it and let us know if the answer up there is correct or not.
If the alternating possession procedure has not been established and another jump ball is required, the jump ball shall be between the captains. No, because what if the captains aren't starting? Any 2 players, that's not correct. Players involved in the previous action or players designated by the official. That would be players involved in the previous action.
All right,
C.
Yep, it is C. And what they mean by previous action is whichever 2 players are in joint possession of that basketball, those 2 players are the ones that do the jump ball. All right, so if you're an off-ball official, you're going to be white 23, blue 12. you're my jumpers, and you're going to do the jump ball. Do we reset the clock?
No.
Nope, absolutely not. So illegally tapped, we are still going to leave the clock at what it is at 7:59, 7:58, whatever it is. Brian,
A correctable error involves failure to award a merited free throw, awarding an unmerited free throw, permitting a wrong player to attempt a free throw. D, all of the above.
all right, all of those are correctable. The scorekeeper must let us know about those correctable errors before the next dead ball. Is it the next dead ball or is it the second live ball? All right. All right. Yep. So second live ball, yes.
On the third one, if it's our error or if it's their error, do we have to call technical?
No. Yeah, no, there's no technical foul. We just correct the error.
Even if like they try to deceive us and switch spots?
Yep. And we'll, when we have the video today, there's going to be what we do as officials to prevent that. Because yes, there are coaches out there that they're going to call a timeout and their worst free throw shooter is supposed to be on the line. Well, I know the officials aren't paying attention. They're not engaged. I'm going to put our best free throw shooter on the line and see if you catch it. And see if the scorekeeper catches it. Absolutely. But it is not a technical foul because it's going to be hard to prove. Yeah. Yeah, kids will do it. And the main thing with the correctable errors is communication, 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 which we go over in the video. All right, Terry, you got the...
Number 4, a coaching box may not A, extend onto the playing court, B marked with a 2-inch wide line, extend more than 12 feet,
12 feet?
be a different color. It is A, extend onto the playing court.
Yep. Because they are supposed to mark it with the 2-inch wide line. It can extend more than 12 feet because it's end line / baseline to the 28-foot line. And then it could be a different color. There is no restriction what color it can be. Sometimes there's not one marked, so you get out white tape and now it's marked. So sometimes that happens in gymnasiums. But it cannot be extended onto the court. So think about Mount Michael. Mount Michael's basketball court is very, very small. Just because it's very, very small, we can't, that coach has to stay right near that bench area. They can't do that second out of bounds line. Sorry, it's small court. Gotta stay off the court. All right, number 5, who's got it? Keith?
Number 5, a ball in contact with a player with one foot in the backboard is considered to be in the backboard, front court, either front or back, or out of bounds.
All right, number 5 is backcourt. All right, so I know it's hard to see here on film, but if I'm straddling front court, back court, and my right foot right now is in the back court, once I lift up this right foot, I now only have front court status. All right, so when we talk about back court violation and we say 2 feet and the ball, not necessarily, because I could have 1 foot, and if that other foot is off the ground, I am now in front court. So now if I go backwards, now we got backcourt violation. All right, so that was the rule I wanted to touch a little bit on there. So 3-point is, it's 2 feet in the ball, but if you have 1 foot across and the other foot up, you now have 2 feet in the front court. So 2 or 3? What's that?
3/3 of the ball.
So you have 2 feet and the ball. All right, so now if the ball's here in the backcourt, the ball's still in the backcourt. All right, so now the ball's in the front court. I lift up this foot, now all 3 are across. I can't put down that backcourt foot again.
Hey, Sean, but the problem with that is if you're dribbling,
Yep.
you're coming up towards that line, that back foot's automatically gonna rise. Once you put your front foot down, it's automatically gonna start to come up.
Yep, but the ball is still in the backcourt.
Now, the ball's now in the front court.
Not when I'm possessing it.
Well, if you put
You're-
the ball
you're-
in the front court,
so now you're
you
think-
have 2 feet. You have 1 foot in back, 1 foot in front, and as soon as that, you start to come forward with that other foot. But if you change your mind and stop,
With the ball bouncing in the backcourt?
no, the ball's in the front court.
Oh, yeah, ball's in front court,
But
yeah.
I only have 1 foot in the front court,
Lift it up.
and I'm getting ready to come forward onto the front court.
Yep.
But if I change my mind and then go backwards with that, and even though that foot starts to rise, and then I rock back in a sense and put the foot back down.
If the ball,
That shouldn't be a violation then, because I haven't,
it is. It is a violation.
Splitting the hair, whether that back foot is lifted off.
that's what I'm saying.
Is it lifted off? He's saying that you're using the front court. It's black and white.
Yeah.
So if you lift it up and then go back, that's over and back.
Because if I'm walking forward with that ball in the front court dribbling,
Right here. Yep.
yeah, and now I start
Boom.
to come forward. but then
Just
I
like
go
this.
backwards,
Backcourt violation.
I've changed my mind.
Backcourt violation. That's a backcourt violation.
Black and white, it's not right. Once it goes up,
Okay.
So that's,
considered in the front court.
so that's why I tell officials, I be very, very careful using that 3-point philosophy. All right? It's a coach, I had the player and ball in front court, and then the ball went into the backcourt. All right? So that's why that 3-point philosophy is not in the rule book. It does work in some situations, and a lot of people understand it. It just doesn't work in all situations. All right, number 6, who's got it? Go for it.
A dribble begins by A, pushing the ball.
Boom. 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 All right, it is all the above. The important one is batting the ball to the floor. Okay? If I'm on offense and somebody's about to steal the ball from me and I intentionally bat it away from my opponent, boom, I batted away from my opponent, it hit the floor. That's a dribble. So now when I collect it, now my dribble is over. I cannot start my dribble again. Do not confuse that with a muffed pass. So boom, I get a pass, I don't catch it cleanly, I pick it up. Since it wasn't intentionally batted, thrown, pushed to the floor, I now have my dribble. The signal that I will use that is not Federation approved, but if there are things I could do as an official to not get yelled at, I'm going to do it. I give that bobble signal. All right, so if I truly have that offensive player muffing the basketball, it goes to the ground, I am giving this no control. This was bobbled. This was not a dribble. All right. Again,
This
it's
is a play that I see so often not called, and I am a stickler about calling.
a stickler on the bat.
Well, on the push, or on the definition of a dribble, I don't want to call it, I don't want to define it a deflection, but exactly the rule that we're talking about, I'm very conscious of making that call. I see it not called often.
Yeah, if it's intentionally deflected so it doesn't turn into a turnover, that's a bat. I will also use my voice. Guess what I'm going to tell that player? You don't have a dribble, to try to prevent that violation. I'm all about keeping the flow of the game going. I'm all about not bringing the attention myself. If there's a way I could prevent a violation, prevent the foul, which we'll get into with illegal screens, I'm going to do it.
It's also, what I mean, your example is a defensive player and a steal.
Mhm.
You know, my example more so is even on an offensive player on a catch that ends up coming down as a bounce or a push to the floor, grab, and then go to the floor again.
It's got to be intentional.
Yeah.
Got to be clearly intentional.
It's got to be intentional, or the definition of a dribble is push to the floor.
Intentionally pushing the ball to the floor. The key word there is intentionally.
Like an intentional muff, like it comes at them quick and they bat it down. Like instead of catching it, I just hit it to the ground so it doesn't get into me.
Yep, I'm gonna let him dribble.
Okay, great, sure.
Yep.
So, in batting the ball, you're talking about the offensive player kind of batting it away from the defensive player collecting it. If the offensive player has the ball and it's batted out of his hands by the defensive player, they can regroup on the ball and it's not a dribble.
Correct. Yep. All right, who has the microphone? All right. This is one of the ones I did not have, I had a question on. So go for it.
A tap for goal is the contacting of the ball.
All right, is that what everyone else has? Is that what the rule says? All right, so a tap for goal is a release of the hand. All right, now with that being said, if I shoot a long full court shot and it bounces inside the arc and goes into the basket, how many points is that worth? All right, that is worth 2 points. All right. And then obviously if it goes off somebody's head who's inside the arc into the basket, it's still only 2 points. All right, so that's why I'm like, I'm wondering if that's what they're referring to. But no, a tap for goal is contacting the ball with the hand in an attempt to direct the ball into the basket. All right. All right, number 7, who's got the microphone? Go for it. Oh, 8. All right, it is all the above. In the video, we are going to have an example. All right, I will say this. The key word to this question to me is may. All right, we still have to understand the intent of why these rules were written, and we will talk about the intent, especially the one interfering with the ball following a goal and that intent. All right, number 9, Dwayne.
Is in control.
Number 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. A team foul does not include a technical foul on the player, personal foul on the player. D.
All right, it is D, indirect technical foul on the head coach. You know, we talk about correctable errors. Meriting an awarded free throw, not awarding a free throw. Sometimes this is when it comes up. So boom, we have a common foul on number 5, blue, and then boom, we have a technical foul on 5, blue. Because he slammed the basketball after we called a common foul on him. We have to slow down as an officiating crew. All right, we have to report, first I have 5, blue, illegal use of hands, 2 shots. After the play, I got a technical foul, blue, 5. We have to make sure that scorekeeper puts down 2 personal fouls for number 5, 1 technical foul for number 5, and 2 team fouls. All right, very, very important. A lot of times in that same dead ball period, they're going to go 1 technical foul, 1 team foul. Now we're in a bad mess at the end of the game when here's number 5 with their 4th common foul, but they didn't put that technical foul towards disqualification. Or they didn't put it towards team foul, so we put the inbounds play. Oh, shoot, that would have been the 5th team foul. That's 2 free throws now. All right, so be very, very clear communicator. When we have a technical foul and a common foul in the same dead ball period, it gets added to that team foul total for that quarter this year. So an indirect technical foul is bench personnel. So the coach is responsible for bench personnel. It could be one. Another one could be they changed the number of a uniform and didn't change it in the book. So that's an indirect technical foul. So it won't go towards a team foul.
So which allows the coach to still maintain the spot. So
Yep.
it can still establish it.
Right.
All right, number 10.
A team is in control during a pass between teammates, during an interrupted dribble, when the ball is at the disposal of a player for a throw-in, or all of the above. All of the above.
All right, it is all the above. The key word there is team control. Like an interrupted dribble, it doesn't have player control, but it still has team control. And then once I hand the ball or bounce the ball to the inbounder, once that inbounder collects the basketball, all right, they now have team control, which is very important when it comes to bonus free throws. Because if it's a team control foul, we're not going to award bonus free throws. All right, number 11.
A player who has been replaced may not re-enter until after the clock has started properly. The ball becomes live. At least 10 seconds have run off the clock. The ball becomes dead again. A, after the clock has started properly.
All right, very important rule. This is a high school rule. It's different in other television games that you're going to be watching. And where it comes up is at the end of the game. So here I am on defense. I sub in my big post player because I want that big post player on the ball, getting the deflection, not having a good inbounds pass. Boom, I have a 5-second violation on the offense. Well, we need a 3-point shot to win. So now I want to bring in my 3-point shooter for that big post player. That big post player has to stay in until time comes off the clock. They can sub that 3-point shooter in, absolutely. They just can't sub in for that player who has not played and that time come off the clock.
It's kind of a bad question, because you can't come in until the official summons you on a dead ball. You can't just run out there because the clock's like a hockey match.
Oh, so you're talking about number 11?
Yeah, like the 1 and 4.
4. The ball becomes dead again. 'Cause I know what he's saying. Same thing what I was thinking is after the clock starts properly, but he can't come in, but the ball's dead again.
So he's summoned.
Mm-hmm.
Dead ball.
But they even like boom.
Next dead ball after the live action.
If the clock properly started. Because if there's a 5-second violation, if there's an illegal kick, if there's a timeout called, because the ball was live, but they still can't take that sub out.
What you're saying is it should be like after the clock has started properly and the ball becomes dead.
And when you're setters.
Okay.
You can't just go on the court.
Yeah, you just, well, that sort of goes now to the next question, number 12, because I thought you were skipping to number 12. Go for it, Steve.
Number 12, a substitute becomes a player when A, the substitute reports to the scorer, B, the substitute has both feet inside the playing court, C, the substitute is beckoned by an official and legally enters the court, or D, all of the above. Answer is C, substitute is beckoned by an official and legally enters the court.
Okay, so officials, like, it's very, especially early in the game, I always have a whistle. I mean, I really tell the scorekeeper, please don't buzz that horn. Because if I have a foul, boop, foul. And they buzz that horn, uh-oh.
Just keep going, it'll come back.
Okay, and they buzz that horn, players are trained when that horn blows, what are they doing? They're running onto the court. So I tell that the person running the clock, if don't buzz that horn for a substitute. And now not every officiating crew is that aware of substitutes, but I don't want somebody just running onto the court. Then all of a sudden they're subbing it and shoot, that's my shooter. That was my shooter I was supposed to shoot because it's the 15th foul. Oh shoot, where did my shooter go? Oh, my shooter's on the bench. All right, so keep the sub there. Report your foul. Make sure the next resumption of play is set with your crew. All right, subs, come on in. Now they're a player. The important part, why they put the answer, the substitute reports to the score. So here I am. Hey, 33, get in. 33 goes to the score table. 33 for 10. Sweet. Hey, 33, come here, come here. I don't want you to go in now because the game situation changed. There was just a turnover. They could do that because they have not legally became a player. All right, they might have even come onto the court. Then their coach says, no, get over here. If we didn't beckon in 33, they are not a player yet. So they don't have to follow that rule of time properly coming off the clock. All right, so substitute, and again, we'll show it in the video. Everything has a purpose mechanically, and 99% of the time, it's not a big deal. But that 1% of the time, it's a pretty big deal. Again, we'll take a look at some big deals here. All right, number 13, who's got it? All right, go ahead, Joe.
A head coach is assessed a blank technical foul for unsporting acts or conduct committed by an assistant coach. A, direct. B, indirect. C, flagrant. D, none of the above. The answer is B, indirect.
All right, so indirect. All right, so yeah, a technical foul for unsporting acts is committed by an assistant coach. That will go directly to the head coach, by the way. So if you know what head coach called you a name, boop, boop, technical foul, this assistant coach. That is a direct technical foul to that assistant coach. Well, then you got to go to the head coach and say, Coach, this coach has the direct one. So if they get two direct ones, that assistant coach is ejected. There's only one team foul added to that team. But you got to tell the coach, hey, that's an indirect to you. Because now if the coach gets two indirect and a direct, now they're disqualified. Because that head coach is responsible for bench personnel. Yep. Yep. So whenever we give a direct technical foul, it's going to be a team foul. But now, because it's bench personnel, it's a direct to that person, indirect to the coach. But not two team fouls, just one team foul.
I just want to make sure I'm correct. Even though it's an indirect technical foul to the coach, he still loses box privilege, right?
Not on an indirect.
But he counts one for him, so the next one either way is an ejection.
When I read Section 6, Article 1, it says the first technical foul charged directly or indirectly to the head coach results in loss of coaching points.
Well, you said indirectly.
Yeah.
Directly and indirectly.
Or indirectly to the head coach. So we're saying this is an indirect to the head coach. Since it says or indirect, he loses his box. That's how I read it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So what page you on?
I'm on page 69. Article 6, head coach rules, or Section 6, Article 1. By city association adoption, the head coach may stand within the designated coaching box described in Rule 113.2. The first technical foul charged directly or indirectly to the head coach results in loss of coaching box privileges, and the coach shall remain seated for the remainder of the game.
I guess that kind of makes sense for dunking before the game.
I also haven't looked what Rule 10.6.1b, c, e, are, but I guess it's just everything in there. 10.6.1, but when I read directly or indirectly.
All right. Coach does lose his box on an indirect technical foul from bench personnel. All right, so hopefully there's another rules question later on in the. Is that the one you got wrong, maybe?
But
I mean,
that one that came off last year's test.
yep. All right, so let's go to number 14. So 13 is indirect, is given to the head coach. Head coach loses the coach's box with an indirect to them, and that direct technical foul goes to the assistant coach.
All right, I got 14. A head coach is assessed a direct technical foul for which of the following infractions? A, failing to replace a disqualified injured player within 15 seconds. B, allowing a team member to participate while wearing an illegal uniform. C, permitting a team member to participate after being removed from the game for disqualification. Or D, all the above. I have all the above.
All right, all the above, and this all goes back to that head coach's rule. Again, Section 10, or Rule 10, Section 6. So when there is a player who's been disqualified, we tell the timer, boom, that's the first horn. Now they got 15 seconds to get that sub in. If they refuse, now we have a technical foul on the head coach. Allowing a team member to participate while wearing an illegal uniform, that's why it's important. You get the head coaches before the game. Are all your players legally equipped? Yes, they are. All right, sweet. So now if they come out with the jersey number 99, that's not a legal uniform. And then permitting a team member to participate after being removed from the game from disqualification. So weird story, but player got disqualified. Player came out onto the court as a substitute because they wanted to get all the seniors on the court and take a selfie on the court together. All right. Don't have to say the names, but that was a technical foul on the coach as well. All right, so that was number 14. And the last one we're going to cover today, number 15. Where's that handy dandy microphone? All right, Bob. Yeah. Yeah, mic's for the computer. So the green light should be on.
During a dead ball, an equal number of players from each team participate in an on-court fight. Assuming no bench players from either team leave the bench area, how will the ball be put into play following all required free throws? A, alternating possession throw-in. B, point of interruption throw-in for the offended team. C, vision line throw-in for the offended team. And D, none of the above. D, none of the above.
All right, so I have D, none of the above, but this is another one I was not 100% sure on. You have C, division line throw-in for the offended team.
Because there would be a double technical for the two equal, or number of equal ones, and the unequal one would have to shoot the technical.
All right, so the key word there is unequal.
So all the equal ones would be double technical, so you wouldn't shoot. And then the one that's not equal would shoot.
So if white has 2 technical fouls, blue has 1 technical foul, blue's going to get 2 free throws, and then the ball at the division line. Okay.
But if it was equal, wouldn't it be point of interruption? If it's a double technical. Yeah.
Yes.
Even though it's a dead ball, it should be kind of point of interruption because of the fight, right?
Yep.
Or you would go point of interruption.
Yep. So corresponding one, so boom, 1 blue, 1 white. We're just going to put the ball, whatever team was in control of the ball, at the spot nearest where the ball was before we stopped play. So unequal, 2 free throws ball, corresponding, so they're equal, point of interruption. There you go.
Would that also be an alternating possession?
Nope, it is not. All right, so the question was, would we use alternating possession arrow there on the technical fouls? No. Unequal, shoot free throws. Equal, point of interruption. So the team that was in control and the ball, wherever was the ball is at nearest spot.
Have multiple people fighting, just stay aware, get in there, try to keep track of everybody?
So
You're gonna go to the table with
if there is truly a fight, the coaches and any personnel, like adult personnel, could leave the bench to break up that fight. So what I suggest is make sure players stay on the bench. Because if all the bench clears to participate in the fight, that game is over. They're all ejected. All right, so as an official, if players are fighting, my gut instinct is, all right, I got to get in there and break up these players. But that's not our job. It is the coach's job to come in, break up that fight. I want to try to keep all kids on the benches so we have substitutes left after this. And then, stay back, and again, who participates in the fight. Because you have 10 players on the court. Whoever participates in that fight will be disqualified ejected from that game.
Of course, we have different rules from high school to college to NBA, but also in the NFL. Where in last night's game, you see 3 personal fouls against the Giants, all on one play. 3 personal fouls against the Giants, 1 against Buffalo, and it's a wash.
Yeah.
There you go, football.
Just regular wash. It's okay. All right, so actually, I'll duplicate slideshow. All right, so the second part of this meeting is our film study. All right, so we did X's and O's with the rules and the intent of the rules. Now we got to break down film and hopefully learn to prevent bad stuff from happening. What is the positioning on the basketball court to get our calls right? And we talked about a little bit of primary coverage areas, of which official should have first shot at getting that call right. But then at the end of the day, our job as an officiating crew is to get as many calls right as possible. All right, so yes, I want my best three-point shooter shooting more threes than my worst three-point shooter. But you want to know what? If my worst three-point shooter is the only one that has the ball with 0.3 seconds left on the clock, guess what? They better shoot it. That's the only way to get 3 points. All right, so yeah, there is optimal coverage areas. There's optimal mechanics to get calls right. But if there is an obvious call outside my primary coverage area and I have a perfect look at it and I know my partner has a terrible look at it, I'm going to get in there and get the call right. All right, so that's how we're going to use this film. So as we're going through this, mechanically, I'm really going to point out a ton of mechanics. Everything has a purpose. Everything. Now, if we don't do the proper mechanics every single time, will something screw up every single time? No, it won't screw up every single time. But I will tell you this, if you don't use proper mechanics over and over and over again, it's going to bite you in the butt. And I'm sure we're going to have stories because I'm going to tell people as we go over these mechanics, if you've been in situations where you did not do the mechanics correctly, share the stories so people understand the purpose of those mechanics. And then judgment. There's a lot of 50-50 judgment. I think in the first quarter there's eight total fouls. 8 total fouls, 2 violations, if I remember correctly. And not all of them, a lot of them are 50-50. So 50-50 judgment to me is I really don't care what you have. I just want you to have a true reason why you call it the way you call it. All right? And I say that as I'm thinking like a coach, I'm thinking like a player there. Because Tony's interpretation of palming, carrying, illegal dribble is going to be different than Terry's. All right, so when I have Terry on the court, I need to know why he is calling the way he's calling it. When Tony's on the court, I need to know why he's not calling it the way Terry called it on Tuesday. Because how many times you hear that from coaches? Well, they didn't call it that way on Tuesday. They haven't called it that way all year. Well, coach, this is the first time I had you. This is how I am judging this judgment call.
You know, the rules are the rules, but as individual officials, almost everything is subjective, especially fouling.
Very. And that's why we need to communicate. Players will adjust to you. They will. If you communicate, players will, and coaches will adjust to you. All right, so I did not get the opening tip. So as I'm playing this, I sort of have my markers of time. So there was a foul right at, so right now it's 7 minutes and 11 seconds. So we're 49 seconds in to this basketball game. And obviously we're a 3-person crew. All right, so boom, number 1. What is the trail official not doing right now? All right, not counting 10-second backcourt. All right, the reason why they're not counting 10-second backcourt, shot clock. That is a college rule. All right, high school, does the shot clock operators not start it properly? Yeah. All right, you have to have a 10-second chop. Okay.
Hey, Sean, pardon the interruption.
They don't.
I thought Oliver was okay with not using, because
We were told not to unless
We were
it's
told not to, I
under,
thought.
if it's under a certain time, then we count physical, but Sean John, no.
like if
Really?
it's out of bounds play and now it's less than 35, they want you to count.
All right.
Yeah, they changed that last year.
Sweet. Same. Iowa's the same thing. So shot clock, they don't do the 10-second count. All right.
Unless the ball ends up out of bounds or there's a timeout and now you get, now you're at 28 to 18, they want you to count 28 to 18.
Okay.
The other thing about that is, if I may, in anything till it gets to 24. And I'm like, well, 35 minus 25 is 10.
Yeah,
Of course, we
so
deal with the operator.
I do know technology behind that. There are some shot clocks that goes from 35 to 34, not until it's 34.00. There are other shot clocks that is 34.9 and it goes to 34. Does that make sense? So I will say at a different level, we always wait till 24 because you don't know what that shot clock is set to turn the number.
Fair enough.
So.
It just, to me, it felt like it created more of an explanation to the coaches
And that's
on both sides.
the power of high school basketball and all the different technology companies out there.
And that's why I felt like, why aren't we getting the same system for every school?
Well, that's just business. Why doesn't every...
But if you're going to go to it, then you should mandate it. If you're going to go to shot clock, then it should be mandated. This is the system.
But that's against capitalism.
We didn't even get them all out of bounds.
You can't go against capitalism.
We didn't even get them all out of bounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, our boards are all different too.
yeah, no kidding. All right. I think the first judgment is going to be screen here. All right, here should be the screen coming up here. All right. The screener's still moving, right? So if I rewind it here a little bit, slow rewind. Does this screener give time and distance from this defender to avoid contact? No. So this is a moving screener. What did the defense do? I'm going to rewind it. They switched. They switched. So the person he was screening is now doing what? They're guarding him. All right. So that's not a screen anymore. They switched. All right. So there will be times in a game where boom, boop, illegal block, illegal screen, moving while screening, and the coach says they've been doing it all game, Sean. Yeah, but coach, you've been switching your screens all game.
You got a no call there.
Yeah, this is a no call because it's not a screen. All right, so you have to be aware as an official, is the defense switching on a screen or are they actually trying to get around the screen? If they're trying to get around this screen and that player that got screened for is wide open for a three-point shot, that's a foul. But they didn't. They switched. So yes, they were moving while screening, but that movement, they're not screening anymore because they switched defenders. All right, so that's so hard to explain to coaches. Well, when you switch, they're no longer screeners. Whereas when you're trying to stay with that original matchup, now that screener does have to stay set. It's the screen and roll. There's no screen and roll in this one. But that's what they do. They'll screen and they'll roll, but as they're rolling, the screener's trying to get underneath that screen to stay on the same opponent. Now you got moving screen. It's just a screen and roll, Sean. Yeah, but that person that you're screening is trying to get underneath that roll, and you're moving and preventing them to get around it. All right, so this was a correct no call, all right, because it's no longer a screen when they switch. Offensive initiated contact, no foul. We got loose ball, sweet. Basket scores. All right, so now what is White doing after their first made basket there? They're getting back. Are they pressing? No. Is Blue really trying to get that ball out of the basket? Fast break, go, 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 go. Remember that. Remember what these two teams are trying to do right now when we get to a potential deflecting the ball after a made basket here in this quarter. Blue's not pushing it. White's not pressing. All right, I'm glad you said that because remember that. All right, so go back, slow rewind. All right, so who has this ball carrier, or ball carrier, wow, football. Who has this ball handler right now? Which official should be watching this? Yeah, you want the trail to have this, okay? Now, C, I am being aware of what this trail official is allowing when it comes to hand contact, allowing when it comes to dribbling. All right, we talk about consistency as a crew. We have to be aware what each of us call and don't call violation. All right, so now the judgment there is, did the ball come to a rest? All right, I always look for a double move. Did the defense ever show that they were at a disadvantage?
Defender 6 feet from it.
Exactly. Now, if that defender would have come up like, I'm going to block a shot, now that defender is telling me I am ruling this as a end of the dribble, and then they start dribbling again, now I have an illegal dribble. Now I have a carry. All right, this defender stayed 6 feet back, never went forward. I'm not ruling this as an illegal dribble, a palming, or carrying. I am reading the defense to see how they interpret it. So if you ever get a lot of feedback, man, you call a lot of violations, Sean. All right, it's because I'm using my judgment only to determine the violation. Let the players tell you. The players will tell you how tight, how loose they want the game to be played. So as much as we tell players and coaches, hey, you have to adjust to us, let's adjust to them too, as long as both teams aren't at a disadvantage.
So say the head coach is writing you about it, how would you explain that to me?
Coach, in my judgment, I didn't have the end of the dribble. Well, how are you getting to your judgment, Sean? I have your defender staying 6 feet away, legal guarding position, doing normal defensive movement. Had that dribble ended, I bet your defender would have went forward for a block shot. Now, that's a long explanation. I'm not going to give during the game. But just if he's right in my ear right now, in my judgment, dribble didn't end. All right, so now we have block. I don't think it's any charge here, but now illegal use of hands. All right, so we got a no call there, right? Oh, I'm going to go back a little bit more. Jump stop. Straight up. Perfect. Defense. Jump straight up. Who initiated the contact? Offense. Offense initiated that contact. So that's a great no call. Right? Now, do we have the best angle, as good of an angle as that C official? No. So if that C official did come out with a foul, because that is his call, right? As long as he would have told me as a coach, I had the defense jumping forward. Because if you have the offense and defense jumping forward, who's the onus on? Defense. But now his judgment here, coach, in my judgment, the defender jumped straight up, offense initiated the contact. That's incidental contact. All right? That's not going to be a charge because we're not going through the torso. All right, so this was a no call, and the judgment from that official, defense jumped straight up, offense initiated the contact. Violent, if it displaces, yes. Yeah. I wouldn't use the word violent, but yeah. All right, so that was an air ball. All right, so here's the next judgment. Boom. All right, who makes contact? Offense. Where do they make the contact? In the torso. Was the defender put at a disadvantage? No. So if I'm watching this play live on the basketball court, I officiate the defense, right? What player just got the ball, though? Which player? It's not the same guy. So the center official here, let's see if this pointer works. Here's the center official. I am watching this defender right here. I'm making sure he's legal. I'm making sure he's not displaced. You think I'm watching this defender here? Right. There's no way I'm watching that defender. So we talk about primary coverage area, all right? In my primary coverage area, I am watching the primary defender. This trail official, this is a secondary defender. This trail official should be watching the secondary defender. All right, so people are like, oh, the center official didn't call it, so it must not be a foul. Well, I didn't call it a foul because I wasn't watching that defender. So please, if you're ever working with me, if you deem this secondary defender coming in and fouling, get the foul. Now, the video is not going to clearly show if it's illegal use of hands or not. So we have a reach. It is legal to reach at the basketball. It is legal to reach at the basketball, hit the hand while the hand is in contact with the basketball, and now we have the ball out. So video does not. Yep. So trust me, this is a 50-50 call. So if the trail official says, hey, I have the contact on the hand or I have the contact on the ball only, awesome. But as a trail official, don't not call a foul because, oh, that's not my area, I can't call that foul. No, my partner was watching the primary defender. So that secondary defender, I would have been guessing. As a C, I would have been guessing on the secondary defender because I was officiating the primary defender. So you're looking travel? We could probably find a lot of travels when we go slow.
I wouldn't have done it live at all, but left foot's, or right foot's the pivot.
So no, yeah, the right foot's the pivot right now.
Pivot, and he goes right back to it.
Yeah. It might have been loose.
Now, yeah, when in doubt,
Well, because White got it.
yeah,
So if you're that trail, do you want to see like a secondary cadence, like wait a second?
absolutely.
The moment I see the hand check.
Yep, so when that ball comes out loose, boop, that's when I'm going to get it. Because if in my judgment it was a foul, all right, that ball came loose because he hit his forearm. Now I'm going to come in late and get it. Yep. I'm keeping track of these as these happen. All right. Oh, I'm going to pause this. Mechanics. Rewind. So trail officials. This is a very, very, very bad spot to be in here as a trail official. Not only are you straight line, but what happens if the ball does shoot out? You're going to hit you. All right, it is okay to get underneath this, so now you're looking back through it. The most important play is the current play. And you know the official doesn't have a good look at it because he takes a reach step onto the court. Don't take your reach step onto the court. Actually, there's a play in this first quarter where the ball is passed over the official. All right.
You want us under the play or closer to the side, closer to the sideline?
Definitely, when the ball's on your side, you want to work the sideline and work down below it. Work down below it. Yeah. So right now the lead, the matchup he's watching is right here. So the mechanics manual says when the ball's on that side, you want to be as wide as the ball. So that lead can get wider here, yes.
So on this one, if the trail does go into a lower cadence, like go down lower, do you want the lead to go to the other side and initiate a rotation?
No, because the ball's on that side. Yeah, you're going to stay on ball side, especially with this active post matchup here. Made basket. Oh! What did White just do there? He just, White scored the basket, White teammate hit the ball out of the basket. By rule, may we call a delay game? We may call a delay game. Is that what this rule was made for? No. Because what is White doing right now? They're getting back on defense. They're not setting up a diamond press. They're not gaining an advantage. What's Blue going to do? They already showed us twice. What do they do? Lock it up.
If there wasn't much time left in the quarter or something, they did that, you would call it.
Yeah, exactly. It's that game awareness. All right, so here's what I'm going to do in this situation. I'm not putting a warning in the book. I might say let it go. I'm going to notate it in my head. Next dead ball, I'm going to go up to whoever did, hey, man, do me a favor. When that ball goes in a hoop, because you guys are going to score a lot of points today, don't touch it. All right? And now I'm also going to go to the coach. Hey, coach, can you remind your players the next time out, when that ball goes in, please don't have them touch it. Now we are working with the players and coaches. We are preventing that delay game warning. We are preventing that escalation. But when the intent of the rule of tapping it out of the basketball hoop is so you don't allow the defense more time to set up their press. You don't, at the end of the game, let that clock continue because, shoot, there's only 3 seconds left. They have to inbound that ball. The clock doesn't stop on a made basket in high school. Yes, now we're going to stop the game. It's a whole different game situation. So let's clean it up in the first quarter so it's not even an issue in the fourth quarter.
Pardon this example, but I think Steve brings up a good point. If it is 3 seconds left in the game, we haven't warned them before, and they're tapping that ball, you're really not penalizing them with a warning. What are you going to do with that? Maybe put time back on the clock, or what? I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
So at the time of the delay of game warning, boop, I'm going to look at the clock, 3.7, 3.2. All right, we're going to put back 3.2, 3.7. Delay game warning for tapping the ball out of the goal. Let's play ball. Yep. And I want to save that warning until I absolutely have to have it. I don't want that warning. Uh-oh. Yep, it's back. I don't want that warning to be done in the first quarter because now, yeah, the players put themselves in the box, but let's not put the players in the box unless it fits the game context. All right, next one is we have travel, illegal dribble, held ball. Oh, this is fun. This is a great play. All right, so we're going to first rewind it here because there's a lot of confusion. So player goes up for a shot, defender blocks the shot, and the offense comes down with the basketball.
Did the ball leave his hand?
No, let's say it doesn't leave his hand.
I'm asking.
No,
The ball did not leave his hand.
don't forget about this play.
Okay.
So I go up, defense blocks the shot, I come down with the basketball. The ball never comes loose. Yes, held ball. It is not a travel. It is a held ball because I attempted to release the ball for a shot. I was not able to release the ball for a shot because my opponent controlled the ball with me. Held ball. Okay, good. Now that's not what happened here. What happened here, ball becomes loose, right? Are we counting that as an intentional tap to the ground? No, that's a block shot or that's a muff. Whoever recovers this ball could now dribble again. Boom, legal dribble. That is completely legal. Okay? Ooh. Hit him on the arm. All right, so I love the timing of this official because the center official, where did this play start? Underneath, Leeds primary. But the play turns to who? C. Who has the best look of that arm coming down forward? The center official. All right, so this is another example. Yes, it is the Leeds primary coverage area. But we have to understand the lead is looking through the back of the defender. Center official, you have a phenomenal look of this arm losing verticality. And the timing of it is awesome. Because when does he blow it?
On the air ball.
On the air ball. Boom.
You got a problem with the lead calling it? You got a
No.
problem with the double whistle?
I do not have a problem with the double whistle.
Simultaneous
Yeah.
double whistle?
if there's a double whistle here, it's okay.
Exactly, right?
All right. But again, center official, don't not call it. Because in your head, well, that's not my coverage area. That's not the primary defender. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
What's right in the middle of the
That was an illegal act that caused an air ball. Let's go get that. All right. Now, if that shot went in clean, I'm probably not going to call a foul. Because that wasn't, yeah, I'm having a delay. All right, I have contact. What made it illegal contact was the result of the contact, air ball. Boop, foul. All right, so that's exactly what the C does. Mechanics, mechanics, mechanics.
If he hit his arm, he like, it was just short. You know, he hits the bottom of the rim. Now you've waited like a full second. You still get it?
Yeah, absolutely. If the coach's only argument, Sean, that's a late whistle.
I get it right?
Oh, yep, I agree with you.
Did I get it right?
I'm slow today, Coach.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, no, I don't even say that.
Well said.
Yep. Coach, you want to know what? Took me time to process. Sorry, I'm a little slow today. I'll catch up. You know,
Secondary whistle, do you like how he's coming onto the court himself a little more?
yep. And he's, by the way, this isn't a second. He's the only whistle. So, but yeah, he's coming in. It's not my call, but it turns into my call, and I am going to own it. Absolutely. All right. So now we have. I'm going to rewind it here, 5 seconds. But he communicates, right? The key here is communication. Foul, closed fist, illegal use of hands, 2 shots. So now me, as the non-calling officials, I'm getting my shooter. If somebody's asked me, why was that a foul? I already know why it's a foul because my partner gave me the information, right? And he did it all at that original spot. Right? He's giving that information. I always say that preliminary information I think is more important to your partners than anything else. Let your partners know illegal use of hands, 2 shots. All right, I got your shooter. If you forget your player's number, which happens later on in this quarter, I'm going to pay attention. What defender was it? So if you go report and you don't have the number, I got your back. All right? Communication, communication. Now we go to the table. Does a very good job of stopping. Why did he go to the left?
Because of the players there in front of the.
Yeah, players are in front of the scorekeeper. You make eye contact with the scorekeeper. All right? Again, you want to be very clear and make sure everybody has the correct information. This is how you avoid those clerical errors, those letting a player play with 5 fouls versus 3 fouls, because if they put it on the wrong player. All right, all those substitutes are beckoned in. Another thing I'll do, if both teams sub, I go 2 hands. If only one team subs, I only go 1 hand. All right, and then boom, I got 5, I got 5. If it's only one team sub, boom, I got 5. Very important, controlling those substitutes. Arm still up, arm still up, arm still up. All right, once I lower my arm, that's telling my partner or partners, all right, we can put the ball back in play. Whoever beckons in those subs, unless we pass it off to a partner, own it. All right, talked about substitutes. All right. 3-point shot. We have the center official going up right now. Outside hand, which is the preferred hand, because it's the one the scorekeeper is going to see the best. If both officials go up with the 3-point shot here, all right, who should take this 3-point shot? C. All right, C, because it's on their area, primary coverage area. Should both officials keep their arms up? All right, because that arms up actually means 2 things. The first one's for the scorekeeper. What else is the arm up telling your crewmates? I got shooter. So if both officials have their arm up, both officials have the shooter. Do we need 2 officials on the shooter? No.
That's why 60-40 is so important. Because
100%.
That trail, I get discouraged when I'm in the sea, and that trail is always going up, even on 70-30.
Yeah, so
We talk about it in pregame.
So 60-40, those who don't know 60-40, so 40% of this side of the court is going to be the center's responsibility. All right? So if there was a three-point shot at the top of the arc, we want to give that to the trail.
It's really black and white. It's not complicated geometry.
It depends on who you're working with.
Well,
All right? But I will tell you what, if I'm working with a partner who's not good at geometry, I'm going to give them the one-on-one matchup, and I'm going to lower my arm, and I'm going to go help with the rebounding. Rebounding is tougher than a three-point shooter.
Sure, but
All
I
right.
think it's just something to talk about in pregame and just be consistent with it. That's all.
Yep. All right, so that three-point shot means I have shooter. All right, so now, who's got this three-point shot? Trail. You think this trail has a really good look? White shoes, white line? No. Absolutely not. All right, so, yeah, people think I'm absolutely nuts and crazy, but I will be aware of this partner's positioning here. And
You'll point toes or point to the floor?
if I'm the C, and I see this foot, which, by the way, this foot is not touching the white line. But if it is, I am signaling two, and I'm going like this to try to give my trail information. Now, if they don't recognize the information, it goes in and they go with the three-point shot, that's when I'm going to stop the game. We're going to get together as a crew, and I'm going to say, all right, I'm only stopping the game because I have information for you.
You're not overextending there, right?
No.
It's like
Nope.
you're not-
John,
KK.
I wouldn't stop the game there because we got years ago.
On a made shot?
Years ago at the state tournament, we got dinged as a crew where they yelled, I was a C on table side.
All right.
And the announcer said, three-pointer, and I went down, I said, two, and I looked, and he went 48-50. Then we
Live
had
action,
another,
you ran like?
huh?
In live action? you
Yeah,
ran
so
like?
I said two, Lemon two. And I looked at the scoreboard, I went 48-50, just to make sure. And then we had another play, and then all of a sudden, one of our crewmates killed the play, just all of a sudden blew a whistle, I'm like, what do we got? And now he's bringing Schwartz, Drew, and I together, and we're like, well, no shit, there's not three on the clock. And so at the end of the game, when the evaluators come in, they said, hey, all I have to do was, yeah, they may announce three-pointer,
Oh.
but all I have to do is just take a look at the scoreboard, but there's no need to kill it during live.
No. So your situation's way different than my partner getting it wrong.
Yeah, but even though, okay, but,
If my partner goes up with the three and they put 51-48 on the game,
yeah,
I am stopping that game. And I'm going to be like, whoa, KK. I'm telling you, I didn't stop this game unless I knew he jumped with his foot on that line. We got to change that to a 2. Now we have to announce the score's 50-48. It's not a three-point shot, which an official signaled three-point shot.
That's another situation, but I'm with you, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not stopping the game because of the announcer.
no.
I'm stopping the game because my partner didn't have the optimal position.
What were you doing on the three when you corrected it verbally in live play?
I didn't even signal because I knew it was a 2.
Yeah.
And so when he,
But where were you?
I
He was
from the
C.
And
You were the C and the trail went up with the three.
Yeah, and then,
And you knew he got.
well, I don't even know if he went up with a 3.
Okay.
I heard him yell three-pointer, I just went by
Understood.
line 2. And I looked to make sure we went
But I think
2.
that's a key. If the trail went up three, if the trail did not go up three, but the scorekeeper fucked,
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Hey, no.
Oh,
Yeah. There goes the kid
Pardon me.
ratings. Okay. So in Kevin's situation, I'm not shutting the game down just because somebody announced it.
Right.
I am shutting the game down because my partner, which we are a team, did not have the correct information.
That's a correctable error. No, it's three. 'Cause he's on that side.
So now, if that's the case, if I'm outvoted 2 against 1, hey guys, if you don't want to take my information, live and die with it. It's your call. Like it is their primary call. I'm just trying to help you. It's just like an out of bounds. You know, if Zach goes, boop, green, doot, doot, doot. Zach, I have that off at 33 green. What did you see? Well, I had it off of white. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Well, okay, let's play basketball. I'm not going to get in an argument with my partner. I'm only giving information because I'm trying to help. Yeah, don't be yelling at each other out there. No bueno. All right. All right, so the next thing is help with feet of the shooter. Did they throw it over the guy's head on that last one already? No, they did? Boop, right there, there it is. All right, so this is why you work sideline. All right, so yeah, 99% of the time, they're just going to throw it over you like you're not there. But But my goodness, this is why you work the sideline. This is why you work behind the players. All right, this is called the baggage claim play, and let's avoid it by doing what we're supposed to do. Okay. All right, so work the sideline. Work the sideline. So there's that straight look again. All right, this is not the look we want because we're not going to be able to see the hit on the elbow. We're not going to be, now this is clearly behind the white line, but you want to work that sideline below it. Look at that coach. That coach has an awesome look at it. So now let's say we have a foul on blue for hitting the elbow. Who's got a better look, coach or official? Coach has a great look. All right, so if that coach goes ballistic, it's called self-evaluation time, Sean.
How low can you go, man, as a trail?
You can go as low as you want.
Okay.
I mean, the recommended spot is you start at the 28-foot line,
Sure.
but it doesn't say you have to stay cemented. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is the seat too high?
No. Free throw line extended, 1 foot high, 1 foot low.
How do you feel about the C going down real low? I know Dick is really against that.
I'll go as low as I need to see a play. If you go too low, you're going to get straight line in the post. I do know that. You don't want to go.
Opposed to getting the angle.
Yeah, because when you go too low as a C, you're going to lose the defender. So not too low. Again, work the sideline. Don't get straight line. Try to look through the plays. Boom, out of bounds. All right, so we're going to go back to this. Again, do we have legal guarding position? Does the defender go straight up? So we got head and shoulders passed, but the defender had legal guarding position. He moved obliquely, so as long as that defender doesn't jump into the shooter, we're good. Yep. All right, so out of bounds, notice how he raised his right hand. So that way he's letting his partners know, I'm going to point this way. All right, so you don't want to be that air traffic controller, boop, boom, or boop, boom. Now my back's turned to the players. All right, so there are times where I'll raise this hand, and I know I need help. My partner's going to come in, and I'm going to be like, oh, sweet, black. All right, because this would have been white, and here comes my partner with a funny whistle. I'll just change it before we even get together. All right, so it's an advanced mechanic, and people are like, man, how do you get to that advanced mechanic? You got to drill. You got to work games, and you got to practice it. One hand, one arm mechanics. So you don't turn your body, you don't look like air traffic control. Just like how do you make layups to begin versus reverse layups versus jump stop layups. It's practicing. Practice, practice, practice. All right, so now we got a timeout. All right, so notice where the officials, oh, I did not want to go that far back. All right, timeout was 5 minutes. This is good. All right, so we have a no call here. Awesome. We have out of bounds. Sweet. White ball. Now we have a timeout. All right, so what are the officials doing right now? What type of officiating are we doing right now? What is this called? Dead ball officiating. I see it so many times in games. There's a timeout. We're like, whew, my job's done. We turn our back. We walk away. No, you walk your teams to the bench areas. All right? Because I don't think there's any animosity in this game yet. But again, you are letting the players know, man, these officials are on top of it. I can't get one single snide comment to my opponent to do the whole Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan thing. Right? Because we are near the players, we are hearing what they're hearing. So great job on the timeout, dead ball officiating, walking the players to the benches to make sure nothing happens when they cross.
Want us to wait a little longer to make sure those two that are behind us get cleared?
Absolutely. I wait until everybody's in the team area because this is a 30-second timeout. So now what else do I have to officiate when it's a 30?
Nobody sits.
Nobody sits. What's the penalty, by the way, if they sit? There isn't one. Yeah, I did have a coach last year. Says, Sean, you want what? What's the penalty if we don't stand up? I'm like, disobeying the official's orders, I guess? He goes, I dare you to give me a technical foul. I said, I dare you to sit during the 30-second timeout. And it was good banter. But, yeah, there's really no penalty except, hey, stand up.
They better be ready to play and have a clean court.
Yeah. All right, so that's the timeout. Walk those players to the floor. Sweet. Going super fast here. Boop. All right, so the question here now is, why does the trail stay the trail? We have a quick turnover. Boop. If we get too far ahead of the play, all right, I still think he's in pretty good position here. But this is why you don't want to sprint up too fast.
Which one is, you're talking about the trail transitioning to become the lead?
Yeah, back to the league.
Hey, rewind that again.
All right, so I'm rewinding it.
Now, go
Boop.
back, watch, I think that's eyesight. But just go back. I'm gonna have-
Go back even more?
Yeah, just now, our top official, as he thinks there's a turnover, he sprints back, he should be just looking over his back to see what's going on, but he's totally turned and is running the baseline.
Right here.
I don't think he ever looked back because if you look, we've got this turnover, he doesn't get back into the screen until a certain amount of time. So as you're running back, guys and ladies, you gotta you're running, but also you're taking a look back to see what's coming at you.
So when we do our clinics, what we always tell, when you're transitioning down the court, you should be watching everything over your shoulder. The first two players coming down the court is the new lead's responsibility. All right, so you're going to make sure they're not elbowing, pushing, all that good stuff. But it does. If these two players stop and go back to the other basket, what does that tell you? Oh, there's a turnover. I got to go back with those players. All right, so you're not turning all the way, backpedaling, watching the ball. You're turning with your head over your shoulder, watching the players. The players will tell you that there's a turnover. Boom. All right, so now let's talk about the judgment here. So we're going to have a turnover. Do we have legal guarding position?
I think so. I thought so.
Do we have the defense initiating the contact? No. All right. So whatever your judgment is, whatever the reason is there's a foul, all right, you got to have that reasoning for that coach. Hey, coach, I had the defense, left arm, right arm, whatever the case may be. Or if I do choose to no-call this, I have the defense in legal guarding position, jumping straight up, offense initiating the contact.
Do you think the center would have been in a better position to call that, or do you think the league was still in a good enough spot?
So this is another good pregame thing to talk about, especially if you're a veteran crew. If you have a very strong center official should have all transitions. because the center official's not sprinting their butt off to get ahead of the play. The new lead is sprinting. Yes, I do think the center official has better look at it.
But in this example, I think that the lead was still had a good look at it.
Yeah, he was in a good spot.
Is that one where you want us to, as the center, wait, give the lead the first chance, and then come in late?
Absolutely. All right, so see what this official's doing right now? So we have a foul. How does that look right now perceptually? So as a coach, because I'll always be that picker. You don't even know the number. That's how I know you got the call wrong. You're looking back and figure out who the number is. All right? It's not appropriate to do that as a coach. All right? But as an official, you're going to run into coaches like that. So how do I avoid that? Boop. Hit on the hand. Which one of you did it? Come on, help me out. All right, 23. Boom. Now we don't have that perceptual that I didn't have the number. If I'm a partner, all right, I'm going to be very well aware of at least the two players. I know we're shooting two because he already said shooting two. As he's walking by me looking a little lost, I'll give him the number. All right, so always have your partner's back. Get the shooter's number, get the player's number who you think was the fouler. That way, if your partner needs help, give them help. All right, there is one definite play I want to go over. It is under 1 minute, no. Travel, ball on the ground. All right, 11:50 is where it's at. A lot of rules to interpret here. Shot goes up. It's the rim. All right, ball's loose on the ground. Offense did the whole loop-de-loop thing and caused all that contact. Good incidental contact caused by the offense. Defense, we can't penalize. Ball's still loose. I know this angle's not good, but anyone see how this player's laying on the ground right now? On his back. All right, that player is on his back. Now what did he do? He sat up and threw the ball. That's a travel. When you are on your back and you sit up, even though your butt's still on the ground, that is a travel by rule. All right, in the attempt to get up. All right, if they roll around like a fish out of water, that's a travel. There's a reason they're rolling around like a fish out of water. All right, so we don't.
70 feet down the court.
Not a travel.
Nothing.
All right, because I didn't roll. I'm not trying to get up. My momentum's just taking me. All right, so we don't have a travel call here. The blue team, if that's their front court, throws it. All right. It's not in the back court yet. You guys see this collision right here? All right. Remember, in basketball, there are times you are going to have collisions. So when that ball was released, does blue have a legal spot on the basketball court? Does white have a legal spot on the basketball court? Both players have a legal spot on the basketball court. Did both go for the ball? Are both going for the ball? So Terry, you're saying no. Who's not going for the ball?
The white player ran right into the blue player. Blue player jumped straight up. The white player, I mean, it's hard for me to see.
Yeah. See how all this conversation is going on?
But I don't feel like I got a good look, but I'm just trying to participate here on what I'm seeing.
So
And I'm also going, A to B on the defensive player, where the offensive player is going straight up to the basketball.
all right.
That's what I think I'm seeing.
So if I do not know, I'm calling nothing.
Nothing.
I have incident, like me personally, I'm not saying it's the right call, but my reasoning is going to be like, I have blue traveling, but I have blue throwing the ball in the backcourt. I'm going to give blue the benefit of the doubt. Yes, they did turn their back away from the basketball. But now, we have a foul. Guess who he calls it on? White. So white traveled, blue traveled, blue made a bad pass. It was going to be backcourt violation on blue. White player actually has the ball, and we call a foul on white. All right, so now, again, I don't think the white coach is really mad here, but do you understand why he's frustrated? He had 3 calls go against him all at one time. In his mind, all went against him.
On the last call, though, when you have the blue guy jumping straight up and the white guy taking a run at him and slamming into him. Right. I mean, isn't that the foul on the white guy?
Nope. That is a incidental contact collision play caused by what? What caused it?
A loose ball.
A loose ball. Both players were going for the loose ball. They didn't intentionally push, shove, hold, throw down. It's a collision. New rule this year, and we'll end the meeting on this. We had a foul in the front court. The team who's in possession of the ball, that's their front court. Where are we going to inbound this ball this year? 28-foot line. All right, 28-foot line. All right, so we're not going to inbound a common foul at the division line. All right, so foul was called in the front court. Team who's going to have the ball, that's their front court, 28-foot line. All right, so again, it's so easy to sit here, put it in slow motion, and think about all these rules. In the moment, you're going to have to be able to explain to this coach why it wasn't a travel, why it was a foul on his player, not the other team's player. All right, and now with the new rule this year, why we inbounded at the division line. All right. I will tell you, at the end of this quarter, it's 4-4. It is 4-4 at the end of this quarter, so we couldn't talk about that one. But then the next team foul with 22.6 seconds left is a 2 free throw. Yeah, there you go. If that was the 5th foul, you gave them 2 free throws.
So, say you decided that somehow blue purposely tried to stop white from going to get that ball, you'd have to call a team.
Yes, you may have a team control foul. And if you want to get crazy, if that player was going to have a wide open layup or wide open dunk, you could call intentional foul because it took away a scoring opportunity. But I don't think this was anywhere near intentional. All right, I'm going to end the meeting here. Again, this, by the way, not even 1 quarter. Took about 45 minutes of time. All right, so Wednesday, we're going to find another game, another quarter, and we'll do questions 16 through 30. So that ends the meeting online, in person. If you guys need to talk to me or get anything, just